Sorry guys, trying to squeeze that tweet out real fast. What's Keen's Twitter? Is it just MVP Keen? I'm gonna assume so. I mean, hella awkward if I tweet and tag him wrong, but we don't have a lot of time. Best of 3 ZVT on Base Trade TV. So, deep breaths as we get into the monthly finals.
That was definitely not it, by the way.
Oh. Oh yeah. It's like a Russian account or something. Well, you know what? We're just going to leave it be. Because as we hop into the monthly finals, spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, the guy whose Twitter I did get right, the red Zerg player from Axiom, it's Impact.
Amber writes, as the blue Terran, it's MVP Skiing.
Alright, so I'm actually so embarrassed. I'm going to delete that tweet. Details. Deleted. And then I'll just write it out, and then someone will like, oh, it's SC2 Keen. Thank you, OlimoLeague, for just giving me the easy peasy retweet option. Boy, it's fun waking up in the morning.
Sure.
All right, so despite muddling through the awkward start to the cast, I don't know. We talked about there's a lot of good players in this bracket. The other ones, of course, include players like Gumiho, Salvation, which is also playing out. True and Solar don't have opponents at the moment, as Alive and Myungsick are, at this moment, no-shows, but they haven't quite been disqualified yet. There is some time to wake up and get online.
So, okay. Right. Well, at least it wasn't like Solar and Myungsick were both missing, right? Because then, like, whoever wins this would go straight to the finals. That would be awkward.
Yeah, that... I mean, that tends to being the case with a lot of what we do, though, where we cast, we end up casting winners anyways, Zamigro.
Yeah! Base Trade TV cast, good luck. Everyone should want us to cast them.
Dude, it is. It's like, Tasia doesn't win the tournaments, we don't cast
Except
him in. Cure
Young.
wins until we stop. Yeah, Rig's the only one who doesn't benefit from our blessing, I guess. But okay, so as far as this match goes, though, this is not an unfamiliar one at all. Keen has been a very frequent visitor in the OlimoLeague. We've seen him multiple times. Him, Alive, like Gumiho. Well, I guess less Gumiho, actually, thinking on it. But these are guys who have accrued points over time. These are guys who have been winning or coming second place or third place and accruing points to get here to the monthly finals. Now, the cool thing about the OlimoLeague, guys, is normally the monthly finals are held within the same month of those finals. Sadly, this is the November finals, as there was a lot of stuff coming at the end of November. There was just no time to actually schedule this one out. So you guys who are the fans get double benefits, though. There's going to be the December finals and the November finals this month, unless something horribly goes wrong with scheduling. Let's hope it doesn't.
Well, pretty standard openers from both players. How much to say so far? I guess it is Daybreak, so yay, it's my first time casting this in like a year and a half. No, 2 years now. Right? Start of the Storm's 2 years old.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it was around for a little bit, but not too long, because of lingering map pool things, right? But, well, actually, no, I think this was gone by the time Heart of the Storm came out, because that was the Akamai Waste map pool, right?
No, it was in the first season.
Okay.
I do remember, like, you saw some show matches on this and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, ye olde times is, I think, what we'll track it up to.
Yes, exactly. Basically, sure. But, like, one of the key things is that, like, Daybreak always had really nice Overlord positioning. Like, I mean, you just had 2 on either side of the base, and I don't know how you don't see anything if you really want to see something.
Well, I think one of the big things we're going to have to consider is, like I mentioned before getting into this is one of the few Dream Pool maps that actually kind of lets macro play. Whether you take your third base near the Watchtower, you take your third base down here. I mean, it kind of almost reminds me of the layout when it comes to trying to assess which third to take on, say, like Overgrowth, you know, the most standard maps we've seen for the last several months. So this doesn't have to be a cheesy, ridiculous game, and that's what I'm really looking forward to this being the first map. But after this, you know, it's loser's pick in the OlimoLeague, and we might just very well see some Xel'Naga Caverns, or I don't know what.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, right? And Xel'Naga Caverns is not in the map pool.
Oh, that's right. OlimoLeague takes out 2.
Right, I was gonna ask about that. So it's Xel'Naga and something else that I can't figure out right now. yeah, I can't figure it out, so I won't try. It's
Okay.
something else.
We can reassess it between games when
Yeah.
I can safely tab out. But anyways, pretty standard stuff out of Keen so far. You know, open with a little bit of Reaper, followed up with the Hellions. I was a little bit surprised we actually didn't have that starport come down lickety split. Even if you're not going to go for Banshees, like the faster stim, usually we see this coupled with a medevac, not a faster third CC. Keen revealing this is, well, not really revealing this, but rather having it revealed to Impact. This puts a little bit of pressure on for him. He's got a very awkward wall at the front of his base. He's got no bunker down. And while Impact is going for a Spire, this could have easily been a much worse all-in.
Even still, I mean, any attack that Impact's going to do is going to be at a time where Keen, yeah, he's going to be prepared. It's not going to catch him without a bunker, no. But you can be aggressive with a 2-base lair, and I mean more than just with the mutas. You can try and surprise them because you will have a Baneling Nest. Mostly, you know, because you need something to defend if they do their own all-in, but you will have a Baneling Nest that maybe you can surprise the limited amount of Marines that they're going to have with a, you know, a swamp of Lings. And you know, he has speed, of course. They open up fairly standard. He's getting a 3rd base. This is always kind of one of those hallways of death, almost, where you think this looks like such a nice little spot for the Hellions to be, and then the Lings wrap around and surround your Hellions.
Yeah, but I mean, again, at the same time, I can't help but look at this. Like, if you were to rotate the map a little bit, I mean, this is so similar to Overgrowth's layout when it comes to taking that 3rd base. So it's not like this hallway is any different than something folks have been used to dealing with, I suppose.
Well, Overgrowth, if you wrap around to the 3rd, actually has 2 exit points.
I guess if you're leaving that area, like, near the gold, yeah. Anyways, a couple things do run through this horrible wall. It's just horrible wall, because there's so many holes in it, but yeah, it just simply pulls the mining back. A couple of SCVs get popped. Really nothing too dangerous yet. It's getting to that point, but...
Oh, so awkward. It was enough for the Lings to get through, but not the Hellions.
Right. It's the woes of being Terran. Without a bunker, you always have like the most awkward wall. Scan does go from Keen here to the natural base, and he's going to see the evolution chambers, so he knows that Impact's not just looking to play like the big all-in. You don't usually fake out Evo chambers.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty easy to do if you wanted to, I guess.
I suppose, but like we just never.
I'm
trying to think like, what build I've ever seen where it's like, all right, man, it's not the rogue fake. It's like the Mutalisk into fake Evo chamber standard 11 minute. Like,
I'm just wondering if Nurture did it right when he was doing those like non-upgraded like Ling Bling all-ins, no mutas. Yeah. I can't remember.
I don't recall him doing it. I think we would have nerded out a little bit harder, but definitely possible. Either way, a little bit for us going to this 3rd, nothing too dangerous. With the Marines being out, yes, they're a little bit overstimmed, but once medevacs start producing, and again, the starport did come down a little bit late. There we go, the first 2 come out.
Well, Daybreak, a lot of the pressure is on the 3rd. I mean, it's in any game. Like, a lot of the pressure's always on the 3rd.
Oh.
Not enough music to really get combat shield.
Yeah, I was thinking for a second, like, oh, it could have been close. If there's no Marines here, he could have perhaps, barely, but flies away with me, just keep him safe. Overlook gets picked off here in the middle, and we have Keen secures 3rd.
Yeah. But one of the things that people were doing, at least when this was actually in the map pool, I mean, it wasn't the mass pool majority for a different type of game, Wings Liberty, of course. But a center tower seemed really necessary at the 3rd, just because you couldn't tell. They would take Xenalga control most of the time, and you could not tell if they were going to attack into your natural or into your 3rd. So you had no idea where your preparation should be. At the time, where your siege tanks should be. Widowmines are a lot easier to maneuver that way, especially when they have drilling claws.
Yo, it's kind of crazy too, because I think the basic layout of the game, like Banelings versus Marines and Mutalisks versus whatever they can get in, like that never really changed from the days of Daybreak and now. And even though there's been like 1,000 patch fixes or buffs to like units like Widowmines, this is probably about the most nostalgic matchup, I think, for this map. Double drops coming here towards the main. Should get cleaned up here pretty quickly.
Good reaction. I'm loving Impact's play so far. I mean, he opened up with 2 base Muta, which can, you know, it's not instant damage against a bio player, right? But he's having these counterattacks that are really nice. You're keeping Keen back. Keen is, you know, he's keeping his wits about him. He's like, okay, I still have to drop and, you know, do what I do usually in a usual game, which is a little brave to do against someone who opened with Mutas, but he did anyways.
These Hellbats a little bit scary for these Lings. Tries to get on top of this nonetheless. Bailey's going to keep rolling through. He's off of creep, so it's a little bit risky, but I just don't think the Muta count's where it needs to be to really take this engagement. I mean, he's going to drive this back, but at the cost of so many Mutalisks. 4 have gone down so far.
Yeah. I mean, he's finally getting more. he really only got those initial mutas off 2 bases, and then it didn't really make a whole lot more. He put a lot in the banelings and lings.
I'm actually surprised the count is as low as it is. I mean, when you do open with mutas like this, you're kind of expecting Impact to have like that 20 count up, right? But now his production's kicked in. Now he's got that 4th base economy. We're starting to see that reflect a little bit better. Bailey's morphing in at home soon, I hope, because he's going to need him versus this push.
Well, the counterattack with Muta is doing okay damage so far.
Yeah, it's really just cutting out reinforcements more than anything else, though. It hasn't really picked up tech labs. No supply depots going down here. But if he can pick off those Marines and make sure nothing else comes across the map, I mean, that's the thing about Keen. Like, he relies on that rally. We don't typically see him death ball it up.
Well, Impact feels comfortable enough to actually get 12 more drones. Wow. That brings up a total of 86. That's actually really high. I don't know if he's going to start putting down spine crawlers or what, but this missile turret's surviving for a very long time. I mean, a lot of his SCVs are still going down, but it's still kind of worth it for Impact.
Right, I think that was the call. Like, normally we see you attack the turret, and you're like, oh, what are you doing? But with so many SCVs dying, that very well may have been worth it. Still just chewing into Keen's economy where he can. Problem for Impact, though, is he's still, yeah, there's drops going off here in the main. Wood mines went down. He had to pull the drones out. And it's not like he's doing this for free.
Wow. You lost a couple of drones? Or wow, he's actually lost 27 drones? No, he's killed 27 workers. He's lost 11.
Dude, I always get so confused by that at first glance.
Yeah, but he's building so many. 8 more, like 9. These are going up to like upwards of 90. This is actually not Wings of Liberty. Did anyone tell Impact that?
I kind of feel like this might work out though if he can get enough time, because all this extra economy is going to be that many more banelings he can literally waste into his opponent's army rather than taking cost-effective engagements.
Kind of. The problem usually is that a high drone count doesn't actually help you any more than like a regular drone count when it comes to gas.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much more, but I'm just saying, like, when you're on 94 drones of economy, you're going to have a little bit of cash to spare.
He's getting up to 100! I have not seen this
101!
Since, like...
It's Dalmatians! Where's Cruella DeVille? Okay.
Not exactly 100. One dog died. That's right.
Pongo! No!
I don't know. It's been like it has been like 2 years since I've seen someone go over 100 drones.
It is kind of crazy and it is kind of wild because he's not even on hive tech or anything. Like, he's just relying on that layer tech to see here with 2-2. He's going for carapace here on the Mutalisk. And I mean, this is kind of, I think, the goal for Impact at this point. Just flood and flood. This isn't even like a strategical thing for like Keen's got to counter this with X versus Y. Like, he's just got to take the best, most cost-effective engagements because Impact's not going to have a large army. But it might be large enough still. There's lots of banelings coming in, and I mean, look at it. There's like perhaps the worst waste of banelings I've ever seen. 1 baneling per marine. Still, plenty to spare.
Well, Keen's not up to a 4th yet, so that's nice bit of one hit. Yeah. He's actually going to take this fight here. It's not going to go so well for Keen. I mean, he really has a lack of Widow Mines. There's a lot of medevacs, but not so much in the splash.
But this is kind of, again, one of these things is afforded out of Impact. Like, he's going so far off creep. He's really overextending. He doesn't have, like, a 60 baneling count underneath this, but because he can replace this, look how fast his bank is rebuilt. It gets insane. 97 drones is so almost silly, but it's working. Yeah.
I mean, it's all, you know, the drones included, but even if he was on a regular drone count, Keen has just done no damage, no real